One tag, 1 week, one shot to make it count. This is for the hunters who hit the road and get after it, no matter the odds. This is Drawn West. Welcome back to the Drawn West podcast, brought to you by Go Hunt. Today, we are going to be talking on a little bit different topic. So typically we're talking Western hunting here. We talk elk, mule deer, antelope, you name it. But as many of you know, I am an avid whitetail hunter. I love to hunt whitetails. We talk about it every now and then. We just did an episode about the early antler this season, and we own some farms. And I know many of you also love to whitetail hunt because I see the comments. I know I see the people that are engaging with our sponsors like Maverick, who are selling, whitetail specific products. And so I know a lot of us here at Drawn West are avid whitetail hunters. And so we're going to be talking whitetails and how we've been turning some really tricky spots on our farm into some really good looking bonus food plots, kill plots. And we've been using some Woodland Mills products to do it that I've been super impressed with. And I don't want to talk to you alone, which is why I brought my good buddy Jake Polk from Polk Whitetail Management on the podcast, because he knows way more about all this stuff than I do. But we're going to have a great podcast today talking about whitetails. And so let's get into it. Jake, how you doing tonight, man?
Man, I'm living the dream. I ended my work week early. Start Rutcation here now until probably November 10th, to be honest. But I do, working at my job, I get Veterans Day off. So I might take the 10th off too and just go back to work on November 12th. So it's a good little Rutcation, and man, I'm excited.
Dude, you just saved me a day of vacation because we're going mule deer hunting next week. And I forgot that we get Veterans Day off too. So I get an extra day of vacation that I don't have to burn. But yeah, you got a Rutcation. Dude, be honest. It's not going to take you till November 10th, man. You have some of the best looking stuff in the Wisconsin, Minnesota area. I mean, the amount of time you spend. I've always been very envious of the social media videos you post when you have like multiple decent, good, great, epic level bucks in like one video.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, how is this guy? Like, we have to beg, borrow, and steal to get a picture of 2 bucks on the same trail camera. And we have a lot of good looking farms. I mean, we shoot nice deer, but we don't have that population of whitetail bucks. So you're clearly onto something with the way you manage land.
Yeah, I mean, we've done it now on, 4 or 5 different farms, ranging. I mean, they're all small. We don't hunt hundreds and hundreds of acres. One of the best farms I ever managed was 16 acres, 1/6. And I was chasing 160, 170s every year. I'd see them, in person on the hoof multiple times a year. Shot really nice buck off there. Actually wounded one that would probably push 160. Still haven't slept from that. That was about 3 years ago. But yeah, man, I mean, we love what, our whole program, our whole management scheme, some say, tactics.
Yeah.
It's really working for us. And I know that it's worked for multiple clients. I mean, my favorite is when I get a client that texts me, my daughter shot her first buck and it's a 130-inch 8. That's a pretty good first whitetail.
Yeah.
Mine was a 46-inch 6-pointer, and
Right.
I was pumped, and then other clients, my son got his first bow buck and it's a 17-inch 10-pointer. It's like, man, this is exactly what we want. So yeah, man, we're excited. We just bought this new farm last summer. This has been our first full year managing this farm. We moved in and bought the farm last August. So we really didn't have a lot of time to really do anything. We put in, a couple different food plots, and that was about all we could do. Plus I had a blown out knee. So tractor time was my baby last summer. But yeah, man, this farm has been awesome. And every farm that we've been able to step foot on, we've been able to make better. I'm not great at patting myself on the shoulder, but I truly believe in what we do. I mean, the results have been pretty incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, the results definitely speak for themselves. Um, and at a high level, what would you say are like the key components of the success? I mean, when you look at a farm, what's your like A, B, C? We got to get these three things in line.
I will always think number one is always going to be finding different ways to eliminate that property pressure.
Okay.
Whether it's it's your access
Yeah.
exit. I call them AEPs, access exit points when I write up management plans. That's huge. On a morning hunt, you don't want to walk across a wide open alfalfa field because a lot of them deer bed right there. And
Right.
then when it gets sun up, you're educating those deer before you even get to a tree stand. Number two that I like to really push on people is diversity of food. Um, and when I say that, I'm not saying that a guy has to have 10, 15 acres of food plots. Um, I've been on properties where a guy has had 9 food plots on 40 acres, and every single one of them was in a clover, right?
Yeah.
He changed it up. He bought some Monster Buck food plot seed from me and texted me last week on absolute giant, on Booner for sure. And he's like, man, this is the biggest buck I have ever seen. We changed some stand locations, some access for him to eliminate the pressure
Yeah.
and diversity of food. And that's what we started with him. Number three, man, there's so many. A lot of guys will say water. We've done
Yeah.
watering holes and then they've done great. We've done mock scrapes and they've done great. I truly believe the first two I mentioned, eliminating pressure and then diversity of food,
Yeah.
absolutely are one and two. You could even flip them if you want. But number three, that's a tough one, and there's so much stuff that goes in there. If I had to choose one, I would probably say bedding.
Yeah.
Um, you don't always want your woods to look like a city park, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you could see 300 yards, and it's awesome because you thinking that a deer, you'll be able to see a lot of deer, but a lot of times, the thicker the better. Um,
Yeah.
and creating better bedding for guys, whether it's a lot of guys are into the girdling now of trees, hinge cutting. We've done a little bit of that, planting white pine, red pine, and just creating better bedding overall. For example, on that 16 acres, I planted, and it was majority open. I think I had 13 oak trees total. Otherwise, the rest was pretty much open pasture. First thing I told myself when we bought the farm was, I'm gonna just let it grow. I'm gonna
Yeah.
plant some white pines here and there. And man, I mean, I the first year that I hunted it, I could walk out there and see all the way to the back end. I mean, there was nothing. By year 3 and 4, that brush and undergrowth, I mean, it was 10, 12 feet. And it would be nothing to sit back there and see 8, 10 bucks. I mean, it was they like that safety and security for sure.
Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah, we have, so here at the 40, we're really not that far apart, maybe an hour, hour and a half. Um, we have, and I think we've talked about it on previous podcasts for folks that haven't heard, that or much about our farm. It's 40 acres, and our 40 is, perfectly square, smack dab in the middle of like a 300-acre continuous like wetland. It mixes between upland and wetland, shrub, a little bit of tamaracks, lots of like alders, willow, um, mostly dry. The last year was pretty wet. We had a lot of rain in this area. And then
Hmm.
we have a couple of like oak ridges mixed through. And then around that 300 acres is like country rural homesteading, right? So you get,
Mhm.
5-acre houses. And so the unique thing is there's no food. There's no row crop. The closest row crop food is on the other side of a lake 3 miles away. And so it's not like every other farm we've ever had, there's been like row crop on the farm, around the farm, everywhere. So like there's always summer food. Summer food's never an issue with any of our
Hmm.
farms. Here it's like, what are these deer eating all summer long? There's to be fair, somebody did plant like I don't know what they were doing. They dissed up like a basically a they have like this long skinny front field that used to just be grass. They dissed it up, planted rye, and then never harvested it. So I don't know what their plan was there.
Weird.
And then like maybe some guys cutting an old field, so it's like grass hay, which you know better than most. Like deer don't eat grass at all,
No, it's not definitely not alfalfa.
right? Yeah, they don't eat. I mean, they'll eat fresh growth, small grains, winter wheat, winter rye, winter
Hmm.
oats, but just grass, brome grass, or what
Hmm.
like they can't digest grass like cattle can.
Right.
So we don't have, I mean, it's a long ways. So I've always been big on that food aspect. Like if I can get good solid food sources on our farm, we'll be golden,
Hmm.
right? Because the covers like 300 acres of solid, you can't see anything. I can't see. You talked about seeing the backside of your property. I can't see the backside of my tree if
Right.
I and I'm in it, right?
Right.
I mean, some of those places on the swamp definitely gets so thick. But that's been also tricky. Like, how do you get good food sources in a wetland, right? And so we have a 5 acre ridge that we can work with, and we've got a couple places that we've been mowing, brush hogging, like some plots. But it like, what do you can I can get the brush out, but you can't do a lot of tillage, right? On that stuff, I could do a little tillage on the woods, but then they've got all these stumps, right? And so it brings us to this like conundrum of like, how do I get food on this landscape? Um, and we had this one area on our farm, about a 1/2 acre, that just got decimated from oak-wilt. I mean, it's just I hate it because these beautiful oak trees are dying.
Hmm.
And but there's this one circle where it killed every single tree in a 1/2 acre, and they're all standing dead, falling down, deadfall. It was nasty. I got some pictures. You wouldn't believe it if you came over to the farm and looked at what it looks like today from what it looked like 2 years ago when we moved in. We've been logging, and I'm not a logger. I don't have any logging tools. I have a little compact tractor like you, and a chainsaw and pallet forks. I mean, that's I'm grabbing these logs with pallet forks, and we got through all of that, got them out, cleared it out. Then we had these stumps, and it's like, well, what you can't food plot in stumps very easy. I mean, it's
Tough.
hard
You
on
still got.
equipment.
I mean, you still got roots underneath them too.
Yeah, it's tough. And
Yeah.
so I'm like, what can I do? And so that's when I found Woodland Mills, and I was looking at them, and I was talking to him like, hey, I think we could do some cool stuff. And like, oh, I feel like I'm not the only one with this problem, right? There's
Mm-mm.
a lot of people that love to put food in some places where they got an issue like that. Like, yeah, we can cut some trees down, but I can't afford to hire a dozer and come out here and take all these stumps out.
Mm-mm.
That's just not in the cards, and I don't have any big equipment. A lot of people have a little compact tractor, so I'm like, hey, if we could do this, and we've been using their WG24 Pro. It's just a PTO driven stump grinder,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's everyone's seen the big skid steer stump grinders. You rent them. Um, it's just on the backside. It's a flywheel. It's 3-point. Comes right off the PTO. It's like it's rated down to 15 horse. Like basically, if you have a tractor with a PTO, you can use it.
You can use it.
Um, yeah, ours is 32, and so it's 15 to 45 horse. Dude, you can go through some stumps with that thing.
Does it go pretty quick?
I did 20 oak trees ranging from like this big to this big at in 3 hours.
Oh, that ain't bad at all. It sure beats some of them handheld ones.
Oh, I couldn't
I mean, you're
imagine
talking
running a
3 weeks.
handheld one. Yeah, and it gets deep too. Like you can chase these roots down.
Mm.
And so we went in and we took out all these stumps. We fluffed up all that dirt. I mean, it's wicked, right? I mean,
Yeah.
and it's it's crazy. It's silent.
Really?
When that thing's spinning and you're not touching the tree, you can't even hear it.
It's good in the whitetail woods.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can hear the tractor's running.
Sure. Sure.
But I had a guy that walked up to me, he was watching me, helping me out, and he's like, it's terrifying how quiet that is. Like you had no idea it's spinning until you hit a tree. And then it starts throwing wood chips, right? Like it's pretty
Sure.
wicked. So we did that. We took out all these stumps in this area. Now we have like a blank landscape again.
Hmm.
And so I'm like, and I love the way you said diversity of food and not just amount of food. I
Yeah.
was thinking like, how can I make this, the goal is that, a hunting plot, right? Because it's not big, it's a half acre. Like if it plants soybeans, it's just never going to work.
Hmm.
Right. So I need to be
Oh
able
yeah.
to
No.
plant something that's probably regenerative, can handle some browse pressure. I've been doing a lot of research lately. I don't know. You listen to the Mississippi State Deer Lab podcast?
Not the podcast, but I've listened to different podcasts where they talk about the different studies, and it's not just that that university that does it. There's a couple out there that have some
Yeah.
pretty interesting data, on whether it's food or just like the range of collared deer or
Yeah.
bucks. It's
Yeah.
incredible. It
Yeah.
is, and I'm sure you're the same way. I know you are. When it comes to anything deer related, we are big time nerds, right? And
Oh,
I got a long drive to work. I mean, it's over an hour. I'll just put on one of them podcasts and just listen, and it's great.
yeah. I will binge because I'm an engineer too, so I love the science. And so I was binging all this content on like how to pick your food plot varieties. Like we used to be terrible. I mean, it would be corn, soybeans, which is great, but we're doing it in like a half acre. And so it's just getting wrecked. And then we'd be like, oh, turnips. And so we just plant solid turnips. It's like it's great when they work, but
Mm-hmm.
then they get wrecked. And
Yeah.
it's like, and then so learning more about stacking, blends together that are gonna, this clover is gonna peak at this time, and then this is gonna peak, and then this is, and you got this whole, 18-month blend where it's you got some perennial and you got some annual. That's where I was like, okay, I'm gonna get this perfect carpet
Mm-hmm.
of, this forest layer, like it's open. So I might as well make use of it because it's the only arable land I have to plant some food plots in. So we're doing that. But then I'm like, okay, what can I do from there? Like, how can I make this the next step even better? And I've just always had this fascination with apple trees. Like,
Oh, for sure.
I don't know why. I don't even know if people kill that many deer off apple trees. You really don't hear about that many people saying like, "Oh, I shot this great buck off this apple tree."
Yeah. I mean,
But
I got some video footage. This was when we owned that 55 acres. Um, the thing, we never planted a single apple tree, but I bet there was over 30 out there that were very good, mature. I mean,
wow,
some of them were every other year, some of them were every year, and got some pretty cool footage of no giants, but some respectable bucks.
Having the right tool for the job can make all the difference in the world, and that applies for our Western hunts too. Especially if you're coming from the Midwest like myself, because if you don't have it, there's no going home to get it. That's why many of us Western hunters are also gear junkies. And the same is true for the folks over at Go Hunt. They have built the Go Hunt Gear Shop to be jam-packed full of the best, highest quality gear needed for your Western hunts. They try out everything that gets into the shop, and if they don't like it or if they don't use it, it doesn't make the cut. So if you need something for your next trip, Go Hunt has something for you in their gear shop. They've got everything from optics, camping gear, accessories, apparel, footwear. They've got packs. They've got some of the best brands in the industry. So if you're in the market for some new gear, consider checking out the Go Hunt Gear Shop. They're an avid supporter of the outdoors. They're supporters of this podcast. And most importantly, they're supporters of you. They want to help you be more successful in the West. So there's no better place to shop for your gear, information, or knowledge than Go Hunt. And if you use the code DRAWNWEST when you check out, you're going to get 10% off most of the regular priced items in the Go Hunt Gear Shop. So head over to GoHunt.com, get the gear you need, use the code DRAWNWEST, and get the right tool for the job this fall.
Underneath that apple tree. It's pretty cool. But yeah, I mean I
but
don't know,
they're gonna eat them, right?
for sure.
Like they're coming in at night. They're coming in trail camera. It's a ton of food that
Yeah.
you don't ever have to plant again. I mean, like, so we did crabs, not apples, because the crabs are more durable,
Yep.
right? But it's like up to 200 pounds of food per tree, and if you put
Mhm.
that like pencil to paper per acre, it's like as good as it gets.
For sure.
Especially the ones that so we went. So then, like you talk about nerding out, I nerded out on these crabapple varieties. Right, I'm like, what's the difference between the red splendor and the Siberian and the
Yeah.
sweet and the this and the that and the Dogo?
And so I've been mixing and matching, trying to find the best ones that are like the biggest ones. So I'm trying to buy the crab apples that are like inch to inch and a half.
Yep.
Right. And
Mm-hmm.
so I got those. I ordered a bunch of them. I have some of them in pots for next year, and some of them I put them straight in the ground. So now in this spot, we took it from deadfall oaks, just a jungle, couldn't see through it. So now it's open, and I've got 25 crab apple trees planted, and they're all in sectors. I don't know if I showed you that the last time.
Yeah, I remember
we
that.
docked.
It's kind
Yeah,
of
so I got the big
it's
sector.
It's a turkey foot, right?
Yeah, well, same concept. That's out in the swamp.
Okay.
I broke my tractor trying to build that, by the way.
Did you post a video on this?
Probably.
I thought I saw something with the swamp. Well, no, maybe it was to get the
saving
block
the
out.
I was trying to save the box blind with the excavator, and I almost sunk the excavator in the swamp. No,
That's
last
when you
winter
know
I
it's
was brush hogging, and I sheared off the forward pedal.
Ooh.
Yeah, apparently those are just aluminum.
Apparently.
And so I had to reverse all the way around the farm and make sure I never got in a swamp spot where I had to do a 3-point turn. And so it's only 40 acres. So you're like, oh, it's not that far. But I was in the one corner, and I had to go all the way around the perimeter. So like 3/4 of a mile to get back.
For sure.
So that was rough. But no, so it's same concept, kind of turkey foot, but it's this plot where instead of the turkey foot being the plot like areas, it's the rows of trees, right? So I have 4 rows of crabapple trees that are like I'm looking down them in line with the stand, like the main prevailing wind stand. Dude, I can't believe how fast those crabapple trees have grown.
Mm-hmm.
I bought the cheapest ones I could find from the county.
Yep.
I had to drive down to, I think, Meeker County. I don't know. It was way on the southwest side of the city. It took me 2 hours to get there because they were the only ones that had the right tree.
Right. Because you nerded it out.
Yeah, because I wanted to get this specific crabapple tree.
Right.
Right. I bought them like this tall.
So
they're out of the foot tubes by now.
Did you? Oh, okay, I was going to ask. Did you tube them, or did you fence them, or did you wrap them? What did you end up doing with them?
I put them in tubes. I got these trees in the ground for $6 a piece.
Oh, that ain't bad.
No,
I mean, shoot, I think
I'm talking the whole thing. The tree was $2. No, $7. The stakes were $1, the trees were $2, and the tubes were $4.
Oh, that ain't bad. You go to Menards and get a 2-year apple tree, and it's like $30.
And they don't look good.
No, they're not. I planted 2 on that 16-acre farm, and obviously we sold it like the next summer. So I have no idea if they're still good. But I ended up just fencing them.
Yeah,
and they were budding out like crazy and growing really good. But I never did see how they obviously finished out.
Yeah, I'm hoping that. I mean, great growth this year. We bought some like actual designer apple trees for the backyard.
Mm-hmm.
And we bought one in a pot like late and put it in the ground, and because I couldn't get the right variety I wanted. That apple tree bloomed and put on apples that year. And then I cut them all off because everyone's like, oh, don't let them bloom the first year. They need to put roots down instead.
Right.
So I'm optimistic. Like, will my crab apples throw some flowers next year? I don't know. I mean, they're already 5-6 feet tall. The deer haven't bothered them at all because they're like, it's out of their range by now.
Right. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. At least if you're sitting in a stand there, it'll look nice.
Yeah, it'll look nice. I mean, it'll take a couple years before it's meaningful amount of crab apples, but yeah, we took this.
I have a section in all my management plans. You know, short-term property improvements, long-term improvements. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
you know, it's no different than planting. Let's say you plant an acre of bedding in white pine. Are they going to bed in them the first year when the pines are this big? Probably not. But when they're 5, 6, 7, 8 feet tall, a few years down the road, because they grow super quick.
Yeah.
That's a long-term improvement. You just made your sweat equity and your investment to create that bedding. Just made your hunting, at least, maybe not your hunting, hopefully your hunting, but for sure your bedding area, that much better in a few years, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's a long term, but it was also like short term too. So, because now I can run, did I tell you that I did a DIY crimper, roller crimper?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, dude. $200.
$200.
Really?
Well, mint is I don't know.
Is it
It's a
redneck
Facebook.
mint?
It would be a Facebook special,
Sure.
Facebook Marketplace special, right?
Sure.
But it works great.
Yeah.
It works phenomenally well. And so, before I tried it before I took the stumps out with the stump grinder, oof.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Well, and the other thing is like you're running a tractor and you accidentally hit a stump on your rear axle. I mean, not that it's that big of a stump, but if you hit like even a 2 foot, you're like this all of a sudden, and you feel like that thing's gonna go over. Like it.
Yeah, with that, we always have our roll bar up whenever
Oh,
we're.
I never put my roll bar up.
Yeah, whenever we're tilling like a new, because you never know what's out there. I mean, it could be a giant rock that you don't see, and all of a sudden, you're at a
Yeah.
45-degree angle looking down. It's like, uh-oh.
Yeah, I've had a couple of uh-oh moments before where I realized I was the counterweight on the tractor when I tried to get off the tractor.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, so I jump right back on the tractor real fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried to go over that, and the cultipacker did fine, or crimper, but it just you don't crimp anything when it's going over the stump. Like you're not crimping and you're not cultipacking,
Right.
and so I was like, I got to get these stumps out of here, and then I was like, oh, this will work, and so we did that project, and now you can. I mean, it looks like, well, specifically right now, it looks like it looks better than my lawn because
Right.
so we added the trees, right? But then it's like, well, I'm not going to just plant the trees. I want the food plot too. So then we did a blend with a lot of winter rye. So next year, hopefully that winter rye comes back and we can really crimp and get that first good green on green no-till system. Because I don't really want to be tilling the roots of my crabapple trees either.
Right.
So my plan
sure.
is now to have like a fully perennial green on green. What I mean by that is like planting green, right? Like the Grant Woods method, right? Broadcast or drill into standing rye or
Right.
some type of crimpable grass,
Buckwheat.
buckwheat, whatever,
Yeah.
and then crimp it, and now you get that perfect layer of mulch to like protect your seeds, retain your moisture. It's all pure sand too, by the way. It's hard
Yeah.
as a rock
Yeah.
if you don't do that. So now it's like perfect. And now I'm just like, I can't wait till like next year to hunt it. I can't wait till the first year we get a ton of crabs. Like I'm so excited that we took this half-acre spot where it's just like, oh man, what an eyesore. You get these huge oak logs that, what am I going to do with this area? Can't tree stand them. I'm not going to climb up in a dead tree. You can't see through it. You can't hunt it. Like there's just nothing.
Right.
Yeah, so we've been working hard on that spot, man. And it's the best part. It's like 100 yards from the house.
Yeah, perfect. Your access is beautiful.
We have a road. We dug out the road with that excavator. And the problem is I planted that road in winter rye and clover too, just to get something growing for erosion.
Right.
Now the deer love the road. So they're always on my access point. But like if you hunt that on a north wind, our wind blows right back to the house.
Right to the house. Yep.
Yeah.
It sounds, at this farm here, 69 acres, and couple of our best stands are right along the driveway.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where I shot my rifle buck last year, 60 yards off the driveway.
Wow.
They just don't care.
In that setting, and do you feel like, is there a lot of houses around you, or do you kind of live really by yourself?
No, there isn't. I think the closest house is, as a crow flies, 40 away.
Okay, 40 yards.
No, not 40
miles.
yards. 40 acres away.
Oh, yeah.
Not 40 miles. I don't live in Canada, bro.
I meant, what I was thinking was 40 acres.
Yeah,
I said 40
acres.
yards and then went to 40 miles. So, yeah.
It's all good. You skipped a few steps, but hey, we got there.
Yeah. Because we have, we probably have 20 houses on our 300-acre block. And so I'm kind of curious if we get to the other side where like deer are so accustomed to dogs and pets and people and cars that like they also don't care about walking through the backyard maybe.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. How far from the city are you?
A 20-minute gap from the edge of the suburbs of like country. And then
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're a good ways.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I was
Yeah,
just
you
gonna
would
say, I
not call
mean,
this the cities at all.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. 45 minutes from downtown, 20 minutes from like the edge where
I
it's like,
meant I meant from the where you are.
oh, the like my town?
Yeah.
It's a township. Um, and there's like I don't know, a village. What do you call it when it's 1,000 people or less, 500 people? There's a cluster of homes on the lake a
Like a
mile
little
away.
little unincorporated
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a, like a 6 by 6 grid, right?
You're right. Right.
Um, a mile away on the
Yeah.
other side of it's
Okay.
there on the other side of the habitat.
Hmm. Okay. I was
Yeah.
just wondering because I know those city bucks are no bull either, and
Yeah.
I've seen them in my hometown before. During the rut, chasing does across the street, a busy street. It's like that's a 150-inch deer, right? But
Yeah.
I think a lot of them are accustomed
Yeah.
to.
And we have houses spread out all through, like it'll be 5 acres of woods and then 6 houses and,
Mm,
rural setting and then, 100 acres of swamp and then 30 houses. It's like we're in that, like that, there's a house every, boom, boom. Like I feel like you got to be in that spot where it's like, if you had 4 houses on your 60, or like you and a neighbor, like that might
mhm.
be like they don't really get accustomed to people,
Right. No, there's
right?
definitely enough room in between.
But for us, it's like these deer are seeing people every single day, or a car
Right.
every day, or like they're
And
smelling. The biggest one's probably the smelling people. Like they're constantly smelling people.
right, which I think would play to your advantage.
I hope so.
And when it comes to, you guys just have to be really, really good at eliminating pressure so that they come to yours and view it as a 40-acre sanctuary or 35, minus
Yeah,
the house shed, whatever, where they feel comfortable. And the biggest thing, eliminate that pressure there. It's going to be huge for you guys. And now you're adding more food,
yeah,
diversity of food that they don't have anywhere else. And a lot of people, when they hire me to come walk their land, write a management plan, they expect, we planted food plots. We want this. We want the results like yesterday.
yeah.
And a lot of people don't understand, like, some farms just take 2 years. But let me
Hmm.
tell you, it is 1,000% worth it when you finally get those results of those bucks, or just does in general. Those deer now now know that you have the best food, you have the best
Yeah,
diversity of food. You apply the least amount of pressure versus all the neighborhoods, all the neighbor houses.
hmm,
Half of them are recreational and got people walking everywhere, walking their dogs, which is great. But then they find your
yeah.
property and they're like, this is utopia, you know?
That's the goal.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're trying to get that food. The woods plot that went pretty well because we can, it was easy to get in and do that work, get the stumps out. We actually took the wood chipper too, so we got the TF46 Pro wood chipper. Um, that sucker, it can handle a 4-inch tree. I mean,
Sure.
that's not brush anymore. That's a tree.
Yeah, that's a tree.
And I'm like, the little tractor. I'm like, I don't know. It took like 4 hours to assemble both pieces of equipment. Like that's sturdy, the stuff. But so we took that, we brush chipped a bunch of stuff, and I'm using it for everything. I'm using it for garden, like
Oh yeah.
mulching our garden. But all those trees, I mulched all those trees. So I got a big, donut to
Mm-hmm.
collect water. And I did water them a little bit this year when we got into drought because they're fresh. But now, like moving forward, like I probably don't even have to touch those trees anymore. And it took me a day to plant them. It took me a day to get the stumps out. We did the logging, took about a year and a half of,
Right.
slow progress,
Yeah.
but now it's done. And if those trees make it, I got 25 of them that potentially are putting down 200 pounds of food a year,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't have to plant, I don't have to fertilize, I don't have to crimp. I mean, even like that stuff is easy, and I'm gonna try to do it anyway. But like, I feel like it's people just so often overlook the value that like managing trees
Mm-hmm.
could do.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to plant everyone wants the big biologic, field of clover and
Mm-hmm.
brassicas, and they think that's what the big bucks are going to come in. And sure, yeah,
maybe, especially if you can get that food to last until November and muzzleloader season
Right.
or your rifle season. Um, but that usually doesn't work, to be honest, especially if you don't have a big area.
Right.
Quarter acre, you're not getting those turnips to last until November, December,
No.
unless you don't have any deer, which then in that case we got other issues anyway. But
Right.
that tree and I don't know if you've looked into the crab apples. A lot of them like hold their fruit. They start dropping in September and they finish dropping in March.
Which is crazy.
Like how that's perfect. That's the
That's
one
yeah.
season I've never been able to get a food plot to last to.
Right.
And
Yeah. I mean,
so
it's, especially over, with the amount of snow that we get sometimes, yeah, they're still going to have to dig for those apples, but
some
probably
will be
not.
on the top.
Yeah. Probably not as far,
Yeah.
as rate ground level with, your rye, turnips, radish, sugar beets, whatever you plant.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I
And
think,
then I still have the
I
oaks.
think it's a great idea to have. I can't stress enough that diversity of food. You're
Yeah.
following it.
The next one I'm trying to do. So that worked well. The thing I don't know if it's going to work yet. I'm going to try to take that stump grinder into the swamp
Oh boy.
and when it's dry or
Yeah.
in the winter. And like the swamp is it's just nasty, right? Like it's heaps
Yep.
and valleys, but the worst part is always the willow root balls.
Mm-hmm.
I want to take that stump grinder and just shave down the top of those real willow root balls. So just at least they're flat.
Right.
And then from there, I can mow easier. I can try to do some, if it's not standing water, I am hopeful that I can get some of the easier things to grow, right? Um, I'm not going to be planting corn or soybeans. I mean, that I know that ship has sailed, but I maybe like, winter wheat, winter rye, oats, the things that'll grow on concrete.
Mm-hmm.
And if I can just get a little bit of that added into the natural browse that comes, like I'm not a huge fan of just spraying endless amounts of herbicide. I just would rather I didn't have to. And then that's kind of where I stand. I wish I didn't have to.
Right.
And so it's like, yeah, maybe I just like keep throwing on clover and some perennials and some winter rye. And then if I get a good stand, then I have something to crimp the next year as long as it's dry enough. If it's not, I still have that perennial. And just slowly every year, just try to add more good seed and reduce a little bit of the weed pressure, right? Mowing, crimping, whatever it is
Mm-hmm.
in those wetland areas. But it kind of starts with like being able to actually get in there and do something without all those. So I'm going to try it. I'm going to try the stump grinder on the root ball, see if I can level it out, knock off some of the peaks and fill in some of the valleys and see if it works.
I mean, we did that because we have a ring of marsh around our tamaracks here, and
Yeah.
we waited until it was winter, till we knew that we could drive out there, and I mean everything was frozen over, and we never broke through with the.
Yeah.
I mean our tractor's 38 horse, and we had zero issues.
And what were you doing with the tractor when you were out there?
We were making a few access trails.
Like,
Um,
you like brush hogging and stuff?
yeah, to and from different stands.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it worked. We had no issues.
Yeah. I drive all over the farm in the wintertime.
Yeah.
It's like a peat. It's usually dry. It's usually not standing water, but it's kind of peat. So it doesn't have the compaction and, I think it's like the shear strength is just low as I think what like a geologist would say.
Sure.
But if we get good, like if I don't break through the sod, I can float pretty good if the ground is dry.
Sure.
The problem is if you break through that sod, then it takes a long time for it to heal. And so I just try to keep things to like the wintertime. But yeah, I drive all around it in the wintertime. No problem at all. Because it's solid. It's not, it's not a wetland where it's like ice and then open water, right?
Right.
Like I could sink, right? I do have some
you don't want
cattails, but
that.
even then it's not open water. So yeah, I drive all over it. So I don't know. I'm kind of curious to see, because that's the thing. How do you get better food value out of a shrub, willow, whatever it's, how do you, cut it, let sunlight get to the floor. New growth is always better than old growth for food value. But then it's like, can I keep adding some perennial food and maybe get in there and get lucky and do a crimp in the summer or a mow if it's dry enough? Like the year we moved in, it was a drought.
I was driving all around the swamp that year in the tractor.
Sure.
That's how I
You
found
ever,
out we had poison
have you,
sumac.
oh yeah, yeah. Don't touch that. I'm allergic to all of it.
Oh, I
Um,
brush hogged it with a t-shirt on.
uh, did you get just loaded?
Oh yeah, it was
Oh,
terrible. It was
what-
awful. I'm not
how'd you get rid of it?
time, man. Father time.
Oh, it's the worst.
There is no getting rid of it. It's you know what it is. I mean, so we move in. Oh man, love it. 40 acres. Like just cloud nine, right? But it
Mhm.
is a jungle. We bought it. We never walked the whole property. It was such a jungle.
Yeah.
And when we bought it, it was April, and so we had the spring melts, and it was just muck. And we get seasonal standing water, like when the snow melts, but the full ground hasn't thawed out yet. So there's frost 12 inches down, so this water can't go anywhere.
Right.
So we walked virtually nothing. We walked out to our main wood ridge. 100 yards behind the house, we have this ridge that's maybe 200 yards long, 300 yards long. So we walked that, but it's pretty skinny. Climbed up in a
Mhm.
tree stand that he had and tried to look out, and then like, yeah, that's a swamp. I mean, we didn't walk anything, right?
Right.
And then it took until like July until we had like time. My wife wasn't working, the ground had dried up, and it just like a million things going on, right? And so we're like, all right, we're gonna do the first perimeter walk in July. And so we go, and obviously getting to the woods is easy. We've done that a lot. And then I knew there's this older road where I think we could get back to this other corner where there's an island, and that was like kind of jungly.
Sure.
And then when we started cutting across, right? So we made it to the far back left corner, right? So we made one side because we're in the bottom left corner. We made it to the top left corner. When we started going across, it was so thick. The easiest path was through the cluster of willows, through the middle, not around. We were going like through like bamboo in the forest.
Like
And
Jumanji.
it was dark because the canopy was so thick, and it's like 10, 15 feet tall. There was a video I took. Abby was 5 feet behind me and you couldn't see her.
Wow.
It's just, it's literally too overgrown for
Right.
like good quality habitat, I
Sure.
think. Well, we get done with that. We didn't even make it all the way around we had to start. I mean, it took us like 2.5 hours to get back. We did like 60% of the circle and then hooked up with that ridge. And that was 2.5 hours. On
Yeah. And
40, I mean, you walk land all the time. You know that like that's not a
Yeah.
very good rate.
No, but you had enough.
Oh, we had enough. Well, next
Yeah.
day I start itching.
Oh
And then
boy.
it gets worse. And then it gets worse. And I've never, to this point in my life, I had never had poison ivy. I've seen it. I looked at it. Other people get it. I start getting itching and rash, and it's just kind of like everywhere. But
Hmm.
Abby doesn't get anything. She walked right behind me, but she did this the whole time. She walked around like this with her hands in her sleeves, and she didn't get it at all. So I don't know how she didn't get it at all based on my further experiences with it. So now I'm like, all right, something is making me itchy, but I still don't know what it is.
Right.
Well, then I go out in the tractor and I'm going to brush hog this first V plot. I wanted to make a V in this one spot. And I think like, oh, I'm going to sit in the bottom of the V and I can look down these two sectors and I can have like two isolated groups of does, kind of big
Hmm.
on that like visual breakup of the like one big open plot.
Mm.
And so I'm out there brush hogging, t-shirt. This is awesome. Look at this thing. And it's the first year with my tractor. I've had like for 3 months now. So
Sure.
I'm driving over these willow clusters and with the bucket and pushing them down and brush hogging them. And it's just eating everything. It's crazy what a 35 horse tractor will do compared to like the 1 Series lawnmower.
Right.
Yeah. And so
Yeah.
all of a
Big difference.
sudden I get it. About the same time I do the search, I'm like also Googling things at night, like what could cause it. And I find out we're in the poison sumac belt of Minnesota. And so then I start looking at what it looks like, and I'm like, oh, we got that shit everywhere. Like
Right.
it's all over the place. And now I'm taking videos where I'm like, it's brushing on my arm while I'm videoing the brush hog
Wow.
work, and the berries are falling on me. And I got it everywhere. My neck, my back, my chest, legs, everywhere. I mean, everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah, and
I've been
so
there.
and no, I was t-shirt. I think I had leather gloves on because it's like, farm work, not for protection of that.
Right.
Um and so yeah, but it doesn't get it got itchy. Like I got some hydrocortisone cream to take the edge off the itch. But yeah, it took about a week of getting worse, and then it was about a week of like itchiness, and then the itchiness stopped, but it probably took 4 weeks for the rash to go away after that point.
It's horrible.
And so now, but it doesn't get me, it's just like itchy. It's like annoying. It's like very, very annoying, especially when it gets to all the other places. But since then, it's like, all right, I got to do something. I want to do this project. I'm going to go brush hog some more. I know I'm going to brush hog it. I just double layer, triple layered, put gloves on. I try not to touch it. I take a shower, double wash the clothes right away. I wash the tractor down when I'm done, and I'll get it a little bit, and it'll just be like a very, very minor nuisance. So like for a week, and then it's kind of gone.
I tell you what, I'm severely allergic. The worst spot that I've ever had it
Hey friends, if you're listening to this podcast, I know you're an avid hunter just like myself, and we are always looking to get more time in the woods each season. One of the ways that's helped me get more time in the stand is by using Maverick hunting blinds. When I'm comfortable, I stay in the stand longer and I'm more focused on deer. I don't turn around so my hood cuts the wind. I'm not taking shelter from the rain. And the best way to stay comfortable is with a hard-sided blind. And my favorite is Maverick's XL blind, which allows me to rifle hunt, bow hunt out at the same stand. The best part is Maverick has a blind for every spot. So whether you're looking for a rifle-only option or a bow and rifle, even a round blind to cut down some of that wind resistance, Maverick has you covered. No matter which option you go with, you're going to be comfortable and sit longer in the stand for all of your upcoming hunting seasons. Go to maverickhunting.com and use the code DRAWNWEST, that's one word, DRAWNWEST, to get 10% off your next blind and elevate platform. This episode is brought to you by Matthews Archery. Folks, I just upgraded my Halon to the all-new Matthews Lift X, and I absolutely love it. I went with a 33-inch axle to the axle, which is a great fitting bow for anyone like me that's got a little bit longer draw length. And I also went with the 80-pound limbs this time because it gives me the flexibility whether I want to shoot it at 70 for whitetails and target league, or if I want to bump that up to 75 or 80 the next time we go on an archery elk hunt for a little extra energy. And the one thing that I am still blown away by is how smooth this bow shoots. There's no hand vibration when it goes off. It's incredibly quiet, and it's an absolute tack driver. So if you're in the market for a new bow, head over to MatthewsInc.com and check out the new Lift X, either the 29.5 or the 33, depending on what you're looking for. And you're going to see why I've been loving my new Lift X.
personally think, and I've had it everywhere too, in between your fingers, by far the most annoying.
That one drives you crazy, especially when you're sleeping.
Oh my gosh.
You're trying to sleep, and you just like...
Yeah, and you don't know it when you're, I mean, every time you move, you're itching and it's making it worse and worse. So literally you walk around like this all day, you know, and it sucks. It's horrible. It's the worst thing in the world.
For me, it seemed like areas that had less fat, which unfortunately isn't as many as I'd like, it would come on faster, but then it would leave faster. So like the back of my hand, like I'd get it immediately, but then in like 3 days, the itch would be gone.
Right.
But like the bottom of my wrist, where it's like fattier, that would take longer to get, but then it would also stick around longer. It was almost like it took longer to get through, and then it was I got it on my butt one time in Nebraska, and it took a lot because it was a camping trip, an 8-day camping trip. I got it on day 2, and it were tents. There's no shower. I just like, I don't know what it's on. I don't know what clothes it got in.
Oh man,
it was bad.
You just got to deal with it.
So yeah, we got that. But yeah, I'm trying to do that food plot because if I can just get these like 1 to 2 acre places in the swamp with good food sources, you got solid. I mean, if I mowed it, it's going to be back to perfect bedding in 1 year. Like, it's such good habitat for cover and security. And if it's dry bedding, if we get too much water, obviously I don't want to probably bed in the water. But if I can get like a decent food source.
Have you ever thought about doing like the red osier dogwood on the edge of the marsh? Like maybe where like the different habitat, like you got your oaks into the marsh edge right along that, like.
Yeah. Well, what's the marsh versus a swamp? Is a marsh a wetland that doesn't have trees?
I consider them the same, to be
Okay.
honest with you.
Because we have that. We do have like 3 acres of cattails.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would say it's probably 30 acres of everything from birch, and maple and tamarack and gray alder and willow. And so I think red osier would grow there. I don't think we have much of it naturally.
Right. So
Actually,
I guess
yeah,
I'm glad that you said the cattails. I would consider anything cattail related marsh. I
yeah,
mean, you see some of the best pheasant habitat out in South Dakota when we used to go out there,
hmm
cattail marsh, right?
yeah,
Swamp, I would consider to have trees.
yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah.
that's what we have as a ring
Yeah,
around our tamaracks is a swamp with trees and
like willowy brush,
yeah,
like
willows and yeah,
yeah.
a lot of tamaracks. But I tell you what, man, them tamaracks, they're unbelievable bedding. And our tamaracks aren't like the typical like boggy tamaracks. You can walk back there and it's like you can't hear anything when you're walking. You can't hear yourself stepping. I mean, you can walk. It's probably 35 acres, and I can walk across the whole thing without getting wet. It doesn't
Oh,
sink
yeah,
down. I mean, it's almost like it's high ground tamaracks, and there's white pine, there's red pine mixed in there. It's phenomenal bedding.
yeah. I think ours. I if it's dry, I can probably walk everywhere
Hmm.
because there's enough roots and stuff. But I think one of the things I want to do is just like start cutting the brush because I think grass and like as bad as reed canary is,
Hmm.
it develops a really thick mat of roots. And I think that would, I mean, I don't know if it's better or worse. My long-term goal is to plant 717 black willow trees.
Why that number?
I knew you were going to ask. Like, that's a very specific number.
Yeah, one, it's not even an odd, or it's an odd number. It's not even, so it creeps me
I'm
out.
pretty sure it's a prime. How could it not be a prime number,
It's
right?
got to be somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, because if people don't know this, if you have Apple CarPlay, and this is it, we're coming around full circle, folks. Give me some rope here to hang myself with. You can turn on ChatGPT voice mode, and it'll go through the speakers in your truck, so you can have a conversation with a person-like voice. I mean, it's. I don't know if you ever used AI, the voice mode.
I've used Chat GPT.
Have you ever turned on voice mode? It is creepy how authentic and natural it has become. It is
Yeah.
no longer like Siri. It's like, oh, hey, that's a great question, Brian. For your 40 acres in this part of the country, I mean, it's real.
Yeah.
Um, but the nice thing is, it's like it would be like imagine going on a road trip with your wife and you just are endlessly asking her to Google things. But it's first of all, I would get to about two Googles
Yeah.
before I would lose my Google
I
privileges.
was gonna say Chat GPT won't fight back on that.
No, and it's also like better or worse. It's like it takes a while to type something out and then scroll to the one that you think is the ChatGPT is like bam, instant. It just starts answering.
It's
So you're
crazy.
just googling stuff, and you're just like, well, what about this? What about that? Right. So I'm talking about how can I fix the water, the drainage? I have just a high water table, and so we're talking. I'm like, oh well, I can't dig a hole because of the WACA doesn't like that. I can do a little bit, but I can't do a lot. And that's not going to fix the issue because I can't get it's not hydraulically connected to anything underground. Like
Right.
I won't be able to dig deep enough to like actually
Right.
drain. And so I'm like, all right, what's next? Well, there's three ways you lose water: evaporation, transpiration, or drainage. Right. So it's either going up in the air, it's going up in the trees, or it's draining out. Right. Well, can't do anything about evaporation. That's just Mother Nature. I
Right.
thought about, well, could I dig a little pond and then put some type of like, when you put like water in, like a blanket in, it'll suck water up. And then I'm like, well,
Right.
then the wind would blow it and start evaporating, basically making
Right.
like a radiator for
Right.
moisture. And I'm like, that's not going to work. And so I was talking about trees. I'm like, okay, I named my AI Alex. Alex, what's the best tree that'll grow in a wetland condition that takes up the most moisture? It's like black willow. A mature black willow can drink 100 to 200 gallons of water a day in the summertime. And so then it's like, all right, well, how much is that a year? And it's like, well, based on your blah 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 on your zone
Mhm.
and everything's like about 15,000 gallons a growing season.
Wow.
And so then I'm like, how much rain do we get per year?
right? And so it's like we get on average, it's about 30 inches of rain a year. And I'm like, all right, well, how much is 30 inches of rain on 40 acres? And it's 33 million gallons of water. And so then I'm like, all right,
Isn't
how
that
many black
unbelievable?
willow trees would I need to drink 10 million gallons of that water? And it was 717.
I love the full circle. As soon as you said how many gallons, I'm like, I know exactly where you're going. That's genius. It really is.
Yeah.
But no,
And
I've never
they,
tried. I've never tried that before. The
they
chat
grow
GPT
super
voice.
fast.
That's interesting. I'm
Tried
gonna have to
what?
look into that.
AI or having conversations with yourself or planting black willow trees?
All of them. I've never done any of those, but I'm
Yeah, no,
intrigued now.
I'm a nerd, for sure. But yeah, so, and the best part is you can get them for free if you have some. So like my brother's property, we have a ton of black willow trees. So I can just go cut a bunch of clippings, sapling, like little whips,
Right.
and you plant those and they'll root. Um, so that's kind of the goal, because I figured, well, if my black willow tree, if I add trees to drink 10 million gallons a year and we have, 33 total, it's only like in the super wet times where I get surface flooding. So if I do that, and like it seems like I should be able to mitigate my surface flooding. Like I'm never going to turn it into, highland, upland. But if I can
Right.
just keep the surface flooding out, that keeps the deer from relocating and
Right.
gives me a fighting chance to get something to grow in my
Right.
food plot.
Right.
Yeah. So 717.
Got it. I love the full circle.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. I don't know how long it's going to take me to plant 717 black willow trees.
I would say a little bit.
The best part is you don't have to do a lot. You just can just,
Yeah, I suppose they're tiny anyways, and as wet as it is out there, they're probably going easy.
yeah, I'm not going to dig a hole. I'm just going to stick them in the ground.
Right.
So yeah, so
I mean,
I'm gonna.
even if you got 70% of them to make it,
Well, if I got 70% of 717, I'd take that as a win. I mean, that's still 7 million gallons of water in 5 or 10 years,
yeah, that's
because
good.
they grow 4 feet a year.
That is crazy.
Yeah, so in 5 years you got a 20-foot tree. 10 years you got a 40-foot tree,
Sucking up all the water.
sucking up all the water. And then then I'm like, okay, well, 5 years in, if we start seeing a noticeable difference, I mean, I'm probably not gonna like turn my cattails into shrubs. I don't know, maybe I'm gonna try. But also, I'm trying to make roads out of them because the roots grow really wide. And
Hmm.
so once those roots start growing into each other, then it's like, well, maybe then I'll be able to actually drive like the Ranger down the trail
Be
and
kind of
not
cool.
fall through.
Right.
Um, but then it's like, if that works, it's like, well, then I can probably get away with planting crabapple trees out in that swamp if I can keep them from drowning, or maples, or swamp oaks, all the things. And so I'm like, okay, get those in. Then I got my turkey foot. I got the plans for the turkey foot, 128 crabapple trees, and it takes up like zero of your food plot. Like, if I don't know why everyone doesn't line at least the back wall of their food plot with crabapple trees, because it doesn't take up any of your space of your food plot. It doesn't impede any of your shooting, and you just added 200, 400, 600, 800. I mean, just the pounds of food you could potentially add.
Yeah. Tons of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's one of my long-term improvements that I want to do here. Um, One of our bigger food plots here is how big is it? About, I would say probably acre and a half.
Yeah.
And this year we did an acre of corn, and then we use screen corn as a screen to divide that food plot into two,
Yeah.
make those deer feel more safe and secure. But there is a section on that southern part of that food plot where we have a stand on the east side. It's pretty good access for any west wind, and almost do like almost like make a fence row. We would even maybe potentially put a fence row in there to really force them to have to go around. Deer are lazy, right?
Yeah.
And then on that fence row, do on both sides, do a bunch of apple trees that'll be 30, 40, 50 yards away.
Yeah.
Um, and just add another food
How
source.
how long out is that project?
Probably in a couple years.
So here's one thing. Another, we didn't talk about it, but here's one more thing that we did with the wood chipper specifically. So I double ordered what we needed, and I told you, I think it was $7. I got the trees in the ground, 241. Yeah, $7 or $8. I got trees in the ground. For another, I think it was $1. I think it was less than $2. I got a 4.5 gallon pot, and I potted the rest.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some dirt. You got a tractor with a loader. You could get your own dirt. I bought some because I was lazy.
Mm-hmm.
But I double ordered. So now I have 25 trees in pots. We took the wood chipper, chipped a bunch of brush out of the yard, got wood chips, filled them in so they get good moisture. And now it's like, I'm not ready to put them in the ground yet, but I got a $2 tree already. Now they're $35 trees.
Right. Immediately.
Because they're $5, or sorry, they're 5 feet tall.
Right.
And
Yeah,
so
it's
I got
crazy.
the $35 tree, 2 more years. I mean, I probably won't keep them in the pots for 2 years, but 1 or 2 years, it's like now when I'm ready, I got a tree that's like got a head start, and I've got, you know, not a lot. You can reuse the tube, you can reuse the stake. If you take them off, I'd probably leave them on until they're
Right.
like really good and tall. You can
Right.
reuse the pot. You don't have much more than the $8-10 into a tree, but you're planting probably $40, $50, $60 fruit trees.
Right.
And if you're doing a big project like that, I mean, you go, like you said, you go to, even if Costco is usually one of the better places to buy apple trees. They're still $35 a pop.
I'm going to be honest. I've never been to a Costco.
Ever?
No, I've never
You
been.
guys have Quick Trips and Piggly Wigglies.
We do. We have IGAs. Yeah, we have a bunch of stuff over here.
Yeah.
We're on the cool side of the Mississippi and the St. Croix.
Yeah, well, anyway. Yeah, I mean, wherever you go buy your fruit tree at a nursery, I mean, you want a good tree, right? Like, I don't want to wait
Right.
forever.
Right.
Well, that's one way you can get a jump start on it. If you got a couple years, like you said, you got a couple years, you could order some trees probably
Mm.
right about now or
Right.
not too much longer from the Soil Water Conservation District.
Yeah.
Show up in April, pot them. It doesn't take long to pot the tree, put the tube on it, put a stake in to keep it square, and then put it in the yard somewhere you can water it easy with the garden hose.
Right.
And then 2-3 years from now, you're planting a 6, 7, 8 foot, apple tree.
Right. And it's ready to rip.
And you
Yeah.
can do that with any variety. If you want to get fancy with like real apples, you just go on some website and buy a bare root 6 to 12 inch tree for
Mm-hmm.
$2 a piece instead of the nursery down the street charge you.
Right.
I think the last apple tree we bought, because it was a designer apple tree, was $69.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
I'll
but it
tell-
was a 5 or 6 foot 10-gallon apple
Sure.
tree. Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a good idea. I probably will do that. But that is a project that I do want to get just to add in more year-round food.
Yeah.
Like I said, we had 30 plus of them on our 55 acres. And there were deer. There was a pretty good amount of deer on there.
Did you ever find
year-round.
any sheds in them?
The actual apple trees?
Or were the apples gone did they hold their apples all winter long?
No.
Okay, maybe then you wouldn't probably find sheds in there.
I'm trying to think. I don't believe so.
Yeah.
They were, and I'm not talking like, this wasn't like an orchard. It was like sporadic. You'd
Yeah.
have 2 on the northwest corner and then 2 on the southeast. I mean, they weren't all together. I could imagine that if they were all together in like an orchard setting, you probably would find a few laying under there. But
Especially if they were the crabs that held on till
Right.
March.
Yeah, but they were so sporadic where, not really, no.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, no, that's one of my dreams too, is just to find lots of sheds under my apple trees.
Oh, how'd you end up this year for sheds?
It's a very sore topic.
Oh boy, not a good year.
My wife kicked my tail.
Oh no.
I tried. Well, we got busy, and then late I realized, like, hey, we actually got some pretty good publics around here that I should shed hunt and like learn. And so I put on 20, 30 miles still on publics, like with food sources and good sign, nothing, nothing at all. And I'm like, all right, well, next year it was too late. We didn't have a winter, as you know, so everyone and their mother was out shed hunting and hiking all over the place. I really enjoy it when it's like I bring snowshoes and it's still brutal, because then I'm the only one out
Right.
where I would go. So I'm like, all right, just too late,
waited too long. Next year I got to get an earlier start on it. I didn't go west this year. I usually go west. That's usually where I find most of my sheds. Well, there's one more spot that we want to check on the way to dinner. We're going out to eat date night, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, hey, babe, let's park here. It's a gravel road. We got to walk down and see if I just want to see what that field was planted in. Because I can see it's a field on the map, but I just don't know what it's in. And we're walking down and we go from a tarred road on public near the metro to a gravel road. We walk 100 yards and she goes, oh, is that a shed? And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, no, that is not a shed, babe. Like, we are off the tarred road. We're right by town. It's a gravel road. People come here every day to walk their dog. But, I instinctively grab the binos and look, and at 50 yards under probably a white pine, it was either a white pine or a red pine, big one, there's a giant shed laying, and the sun is just hitting it from the right angle, and it just looks majestic. And I'm like, luckily I didn't say anything. Just internally, I was thinking, no, that's not a shed. I'm like, yes, that is a monster shed. And she's like, oh, and she runs over there and grabs it.
How big was it?
Oh, it was probably, giant for public land. It was
Sure.
60-inch,
5-point. Yeah, that's a nice shed.
Yeah, 125 class buck probably, the 130 class buck.
Sure.
Yeah, gnarly, good mass. And so now I'm all excited, right? Like, oh, it is worth it.
Right.
I hit it hard the next day with, fresh legs, fresh momentum. I'm like, all right, there's a spot. They shut down all the roads. It's 2 miles to walk on a gravel road to get to the start, and then there's food sources in there.
Mm-hmm.
So I do that. I walk imagine a 2-mile buy-in to start shed hunting. I'm talking literally nothing. It's a gravel road. You can't hunt anything. Get in there with the dog. It's like 3 acres of winter wheat on the right and 3 acres of corn on the left, surrounded with like hardwoods. And I'm like, there's going to be sheds here.
Mm-hmm.
I hike all over. I did 10 miles that day. I found one fork.
Oh.
10
what
miles.
What mile did you find it?
Well, the 2-mile buy-in, and then the first, like mile 3 out of 10.
At least it was somewhat right away.
Yeah, but 10 miles after work is a good clip.
Yeah,
I was sore, and that 2-mile cash out on the gravel road. Oh man, was that brutal. Just?
You should get one of them e-bikes, man.
Well, there's somebody with a dirt bike in there because I saw the track on the road. It was definitely a dirt bike because it was the quad waffle print.
Yeah.
Yeah, an e-bike would be great, except they're like $4,000.
Not all of them.
I don't even have a normal bike.
Yeah, I don't either. It's all good.
Yeah, no, that would be good. The e-bike would be good, for sure. But yeah, no, it was rough.
We had I had a pretty good shed season, and it was just right around here. I found 18 total, which I thought, hey, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Got a few permission farms, but I believe my black lab Wally, I think I counted, he brought me, I could obviously see him. I'm pretty tall dude, so I could see him, but he brought me 16 of the 18. I was like,
that's so cool.
That is so cool. It was, we actually went, the farmer that farms the fields around us, I got permission. He's got an 80 acre piece just down the road, and it was alfalfa. And I'm like, oh, we're gonna go try it. It's off the road a ways, and all of a sudden my dog Wally just starts booking it. There's a house 200 yards away, so I'm yelling at him. I'm like, hey, get back here, All of a sudden I see him, and I'm like, no way. I didn't see it, but it was a nice 4-point side that he had spotted. This thing was 125 yards away from him, and he brought it right to me, sat down, and I was like, this is amazing. We ended up finding 4 that day. Actually, this one, he brought me this one, which it's not a giant, but still pretty cool.
Every shed's cool, man. Yeah.
He found this one, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then I got 2 back here. He actually brought me the he brought me both antlers a set. I mean, he's a dandy this year. He's a 160-inch deer.
Dang, that's
Definitely on it.
awesome.
Yeah, it was a
That's good to
blast,
hear.
man. It's just seeing him. It took a lot of training, but just kind of seeing it click for him. All of a sudden, he's like, "This is fun," So
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping my apple orchards turn into is
oh, that'd be awesome, wouldn't it?
4 or 5 sheds. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. My dream is 100. My dream is 100 sheds a season, and closest I've gotten is 46.
That's a pretty good year. I honestly
Oh,
think
yeah,
this was my best year.
yeah,
My dad and I, when we had 40 acres back home, which is like an hour north of Madison, Wisconsin.
yeah.
I remember his numbers different than mine, but I could have swore we had like 15 in one day, and it was. I mean, we
Those
just
days
walked.
are
Oh,
those days are special. I've only been fortunate to have a couple, and man, are they. I always dream of the person you see him every now and then where it's like I saw one recently where it was a guy in a winter wheat field and he's like, "Babe, I can't believe it." And like the wife doesn't really get like how special it is, but he's got 4 or 5 in his arms and he just scans and there's like 7 more.
isn't that
Right.
unbelievable?
Yeah, that's my dream. Like that's what heaven looks like to me.
For sure. And
It's
I mean,
a winter wheat field just stacked with antlers.
consider me maybe a little bit crazy, but a day like that is almost more fun than shooting a nice buck.
Oh, for sure.
I
A
mean,
day like that where you find 20 sheds a day, yeah. I would say I am equally excited at least to find, 20 sheds of all sizes. Just throw them out there,
yep,
1 4-year-old, 3 3-year-olds, 5 2-year-olds, and 15 1-year-olds or whatever, 10
right.
1-year-olds. Yeah, I think so. Unless it's like, the my my elk that I shot, that one was, the big one for sure. Well, both of them. Um, I got a one buck here that he's in the other room. Um, Spot and stocked him through CRP on the last day
Cool.
of season. Shot him. My brother actually took first shot. Tried to shoot him in the head. He's all he could see was the ear
Mm-hmm.
and the antler. And he texted me and he said, "Is it big enough?" And I said, "Yes," because we were coming in at it like this. And so he like took the ear and was like, "Well, down into the
Yeah. Right.
shot," and he was the wrong ear. So
Oh no.
he shot to the side of him. Deer jumps up, his gun jams, which never happens. Like we have good equipment. Um, so I hit the deck thinking he's keep shooting, and he doesn't shoot. So I stand back up and then I shoot him. Um, and so it's just a crazy scenario. We watched him for 3 hours chase does, and we all had stands like out around the field, and he just wasn't coming in. So we're like, "Hey, let's just get down and try to sneak up on him." He's out in that pick cornfield. We have this
Right.
perfect row of pines we can crawl up behind. And in the middle of that, he got behind us into the CRP, and so then we had to spot. And so we'd step like 5 feet at a time, and then I would have like my scope up looking through the grass while he was walking, and then he would stop, and then I would take 5 steps while he was looking, and it felt that was special. So that one maybe not. My archery, this one here I got last year. This one was a
Oh yeah.
fun, fun buck. Um, but yeah, I think man, 20. Oh, if there are 20 elk sheds, I'd say hands down.
Oh yeah. I've never found one of them, but I've never
Yeah.
looked.
Well, you guys do have some elk in Wisconsin, but yeah, you gotta probably travel. So
Yeah.
yeah. Well, man, Rutcation. You hunting in the morning?
No, I actually have a funeral in the morning.
Oh,
One of my best friends, mom passed away, so I'm gonna go down to that.
okay.
And then a bunch of us are. I'm gonna pick up a couple buddies. We're gonna go down to that, and then as soon as we get home, it's game on. And
Game
dude,
on.
I'm so pumped. And a lot of people ask me, even at work, like, you got almost 2 weeks off. Are you gonna go somewhere warm like Florida? It's like, no, I'm going to sit in a tree stand for
Yeah.
13 days or whatever it is. But I'm excited, man. It's been an outstanding year. I've had bone hand for 6 different bucks. I messed up on one last Wednesday. I shot him at 30 yards, I hit a limb.
Mm.
And then he was kind of dogging a doe, so he came back at 40. I hit a different limb, so I was like,
I need to get you a saw for
it
Christmas.
wasn't I mean, it's fairly open. It was dark enough where I just couldn't see.
Oh,
We
yeah.
got really nice shooting lanes, and it just wasn't meant to be, I guess.
Yeah. Maybe there's a bigger one coming.
There definitely is. I mean, I sat Sunday morning and saw 10 different bucks, and then I sat on the other edge of the swamp, and some of them could have been the same, but I counted 14 different bucks, and one of them was pretty nice. One of them
Wow.
was pretty big. So I mean, whatever we're doing here, it's definitely working.
Yeah. I need to get some of that management plan because we've seen one buck, and it hasn't even, actually, no, we haven't not seen a buck here at the 40 hunting. We've got a couple on camera again,
Mm-hmm.
which is weird because last year we had a lot more. And I don't know how this is, but we have 330 acres in our family across 4 different farms, 3 different counties in Minnesota, all in high deer density zones. They're all in early antlerless zones where you can shoot 3 additional does.
Mm-hmm.
It has been the worst year by far ever for
Mm-hmm.
bucks on camera. We got our first decent racked buck picture here on the farm last week after 4 months. We don't have a 4-year-old for sure on any of our farms. Maybe 2 3-year-olds total that we've seen like once or twice. It is so bizarre. I don't know what's going on. Like they're not dead. Well, I mean, deer populations are fine overall. Like there's always, bucks die and new bucks move in and bucks grow up and bucks get old. And it just happens. Like we don't typically have a buck. We've only had 1 or 2 bucks where we've tracked multiple years and such, throughout the years and shot them. We usually are basically flipping our whole inventory every year, right?
Mm-hmm.
A bunch of 2-year-olds get shot. We don't shoot a bunch of 1-year-olds. Bucks die, and then we get like new bucks moving in. Like we
Mm-hmm.
don't be like, oh, this buck's finally ready. It's like, oh, this giant showed up. That's how our farms usually. And just this year they didn't show up.
Not yet, at least. There's still time.
Not yet. No, the next. Well, you know what's going to happen. This always happens. Last year we went antelope hunting. The week we were gone, early October, 7 new bucks showed up on the home 40.
Yeah.
The next week we're going mule deer hunting.
Oh boy.
So our farm's going to be the sanctuary by default because no one's going to be out here for the full firearm season.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm expecting a couple booners to show up by about the time we hit South Dakota.
Sure. Sure. Yeah, we learned that the hard way too when we went. My dad and I went out to Wyoming muley hunting, and we didn't have cell cams at the time.
Oh
And
yeah.
I
So you
came
get back
back.
and you check your cards. And you're like,
Yeah,
no.
and it's like every single shooter buck is on daylight, and I'm just like, what are we doing here? My dad ended up shooting a pretty good buck this year too. He that was Sunday morning. He sat for 35 minutes. Got out there at like 8:30. Probably about 40 minutes. Got out there at 8:30. Text me at 9:08 asking if he should try rattling, and I'm like, go for it. I just grunted in a little fork horn, and at 9:11, 3 minutes later, he was calling me. So I was like, is he butt dialing me or what? And he's like, my gosh, it worked. I just shot, that buck with the split twos, and I'm like, awesome. That is so cool. I think I get happier when, my mom and dad shot a nice buck. Wife shot a pretty decent buck last year with the gun. I like seeing that too, I do have to show you a picture though.
Okay.
This is a client farm, and kind of you and I had discussed it that, the guy had quite a few food plots on 40 acres, and all of them are planted in the same thing, right?
Yeah.
So I switched it up and wanted diversity of food for him. Let me know if you can.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. So that's
it doesn't go. It clips off, right?
It cuts off. So
yeah.
I'll show you
bigger.
Right here. Here's a better angle of him. and it's
Jesus.
cool. It's super
For folks
cool.
that aren't watching the YouTube, you just showed me what, a 170. I mean, that thing was a giant.
Yeah, and
12-inch twos, threes, and fours.
Yeah, and what's amazing, I love getting texts like that. You know, when a guy will say, you know, what you recommended to do worked, and this is by far the biggest buck I've ever seen on camera. That's the goal, right? And
that's attracting one for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you didn't grow that. Like, that's a 5-year-old deer.
Yeah, that's bringing that new buck
in.
Yeah.
Which is most people's only chance. I mean, most people that hunt 40s, 100s, 200s even, those deer are going to go where deer go. And yeah, maybe they sneak through and maybe you can let them go. But odds are if you're going to hunt a 4-year-old or 5-year-old or 6-year-old, it's just one that showed up because you had a good spot and he grew old somewhere and he found your spot.
Right.
Very rarely are you going to be able to keep like a buck on your property and watch him for 5 straight years on your 40. They move, they die, they get hit by cars. Like, it's hard.
Yeah, here's the secret though. Create that bedding. It's almost like daytime bedding, right?
You can
have
certainly help.
Bedding. Yeah, for sure. Create that daytime bedding. Whatever you see is the best. Who gives a rat's ass if they're on the neighbors at 2 a.m?
Yeah, that's true.
As long as they're coming back to yours during the day.
Yeah. But it's just seasonally. They'll get hit by a car, they'll get disease, they'll get this, that, the other thing. The rut always, for some reason, they always like to chase girls.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. So I'm more like,
how are you going to stop that?
Let's grow the best habitat we can grow and see what finds it, is kind of my mentality.
Uh-oh. We freeze?
Yep, you're back now. Yeah.
I'm back. Okay, cool.
You just were smiling. I'm like, wow. But yeah, I like growing the best habitat we can grow and then see what finds it. Absolutely. And if it's the same buck from last year, great. That's ideal. I mean, I love watching them. If it's a different 5-year-old, would love that too. Hasn't happened yet, but would love that too. If it's a different 3-year-old, sure.
Yeah, those are bonus bucks, man. Where you're doing something right for them bucks to come onto yours.
I just really can't wait. I mean, every year it's just going to get better and better, and I'm super excited to see what the improvements we've done this year do next year, and how do I get more improvements this off season and this winter and next summer. And it's all, I'm very much in the long game, as you can probably tell from our conversation. I'm very long term invested in, I love planting food plots too, and a good turnip patch looks great, and I'm excited when that happens. But what really gets me going is these trees are in the ground, they're working, I'm earning interest on these trees already,
right?
That kind of stuff. So yeah, we'll have to have you out here sometime, shoot some bows, throw some burgers on the grill.
Absolutely. I tell you what, you make some good ass burgers, I'll come over there and we'll just have a day and we'll walk yours and we'll see what we can do.
Yeah, we'll have to do it in the winter so we can actually fully get around.
Yeah, and I don't think sumac is that bad in the winter.
Well, it's to the point now where I could just be like, hey, don't walk over there. Okay. Well, in the wintertime, we shed hunted it, didn't get any. You just I can learn to avoid it really easy. And yes, because it's the lower moisture, all the moisture's out into the roots.
Right.
But yeah, I just hey, go around that bush and you'll be fine.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I think that would be an absolute blast. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Well, thanks for being here, Jake. Thanks for listening, folks. Go check out Polk Whitetail Management. We'll put some links in the description. Go check out some Woodland Mills stump grinders. It's amazing the damage you can do with a stump grinder in your woods, and you can get a 1/4 acre, 1/2 acre food plot in not too much time. So go check those out, and thank you for listening. Until next time, folks, stay tuned.